Welcome to the Wrestlers Podcast. Where is Jake? Where did Jake go?
Shit.
Jake, are you okay? You look like a
What?
mess.
What? I'm getting sick of doing these reviews or doing these predictions. They're not fun. They're boring. They're lame. No one even likes predictions.
Are you sure you're not just mad you keep getting them wrong?
Yeah, that's what you sound like. What are we doing today? I don't even know what we're doing, man.
We're doing a review or a recap of Money in the Bank 2023.
Oh my god, I didn't know that. I would have been in such a better mood if you told me that.
Yep.
It's Money in the Bank 2023. So, I actually really enjoyed this pay-per-view, and there were some ups, there were some downs, but honestly, actually there weren't that many downs. There's like a couple criticisms for me, in my opinion.
The internet was set aflame. For certain parts of the match. It was pretty epic though. At the end of the day, like a lot of big stuff happened, and there's so much to talk about. So, shall we just get right into it?
We should get right into it. By the way, sorry, Weekly Review. You're not going to be reviewed this week, I guess. But next week, we got you.
Sorry. Money in the Bank is just too big of a pay-per-view. Everything that happened this week is disregarded. Or we can just talk about it as it built to Money in the Bank. But if it didn't build to Money in the Bank, it does not matter.
Indeed. That's how it works. But the first match, the shocking opener, which if I knew this opened the match, I'd probably change my prediction. But, well, yeah, maybe. Because, well, it's the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. Started off with a bang. Probably one of the most, if not the most important match of the night. And, well, you had Butch. You had Logan Paul. You had Damian Priest. You had Santos Escobar, that my non-wrestling friend said looked like that, Viking Ragnar Lodbrok? That guy.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know why he said it.
He just looks like a Assassin's Creed Valhalla NPC.
And then, who else was in there?
L.A. Knight. Yeah. And Ricochet and Shinsuke Nakamura.
LA Knight, please just repost one of our Instagram mentions.
LA Knight keeps viewing the stories of Restless Instagram, by the way. If you're not following us, make sure to go ahead and do that right now. And he keeps viewing the stories, but he's not liking them, reposting them, acknowledging us. LA Knight, acknowledge me.
You know what hurts my feelings? When we added him with this TikTok of this little kid saying LA Knight, yeah, and then he reposts the same TikTok that someone else posted.
Like a Liv Morgan fan page.
What? Come on! Just love us! But anyways, yeah, LA Knight didn't win. Spoiler alert. That was a shock. But the in-ring action, what'd you think about that?
Oh man, this match was like really, really fun. I thought it was awesome. I thought it had a lot of great spots, a lot of cool action going on. But the more I think about the match, all I can think about is the result. Man, LA Knight not winning this, everyone was pissed off. And LA Knight was my pick to win, but I wasn't that upset about the result. Because this is Damian Priest. He actually has something going on storyline-wise that kind of makes sense for him to win the Money in the Bank. He's already kind of in between the mid and the top of the card. I think him having the Money in the Bank made the most sense after he won it. Before the fact, LA Knight was the guy, right? But I don't think WWE really messed up on this one because there's so much LA Knight can do on SmackDown that doesn't involve Money in the Bank. There's still a guy named Austin Theory holding a title that needs to be taken away. So, you know what? Money in the Bank, the men's, to start off the show, I really liked it. And I think they got the decision right.
Well, first off, a little off topic. Austin Theory, we call Roman Reigns a part-time champion. Where's Austin Theory? He's been showing up. Roman has been showing up in more shows the past month than Austin. You know how sad that is? But, I've seen people comment on this men's Money in the Bank ladder match and say, and I quote, "This is the worst booking decision that WWE has ever done." Have you seen what WWE has booked throughout the history?
I feel like they say this every like couple months. They said it when Cody lost to Roman, and that honestly turned out fine and probably for the better. And they're saying it now, and it's probably gonna turn out better for LA Knight.
Yeah. And I'm gonna be honest with you. If there's one complaint that I have, I mean, I will say I don't really like the design of the new Money in the Bank briefcase because it. I mean, maybe it depends on who's holding it. Damian Priest, he looks goofy holding it, but Damian Priest deserved to win this. I'm not mad at this. If there's anyone mad that I'd be for winning this, would be Logan Paul, and he was my pick to win this match. Um,
You
but
had no faith in WWE.
no, I don't. But there were some good spots though. You had that little Spanish fly with Logan Paul and Ricochet through two tables, which was
Yeah.
pretty brutal. That was my favorite spot of the match. Um, you had that little like I think Butch was doing an armbar through the tape through the ladder or something, and then I believe Butch was like doing a sleeper hold to I forgot who, Santos Escobar or someone. And then Ricochet did a whole frog splash on to those guys on a ladder. That was
Yeah.
sick. Um,
Yeah.
but I believe that the right man won. I'm not mad that Damian Priest won. Maybe a little disappointed. Everyone wanted LA Knight to win, but like
Yeah. Right.
I
It's
mean
it's not the worst booking decision in history though.
it's not even a bad booking decision.
Yeah. Just our guy didn't win. That's all. I
Yeah,
don't know why people are
yeah.
so upset.
I mean, everyone loved. I mean, crowd popped for LA Knight. You know, and on the SmackDown before, crowd popped for LA Knight.
Yeah.
Everyone hated Logan Paul, but you can't deny that Logan Paul also had a spot where he tried to do a splash on the Damian Priest on a ladder. It didn't break. I think it was a little bit of a botched move, but it still looked like it hurt more.
Yeah. It probably looked better that it didn't break. But hey, and great for WWE to give us something unexpected though, right? I don't think anyone, all the predictions I saw, no one really had Damian Priest winning. So but it's always after the fact. You're like, oh, I guess that is the option that did make the most sense, right?
Yeah. And honestly, the way I thought it was going to be, I thought the World Heavyweight Championship match was going to happen before the Men's Money in the Bank. And then I was thinking that Finn was either going to win or lose, whatever happened. And at the end of that, Finn would kind of betray Damian at the Men's Money in the Bank ladder match. That was my mindset. But
Mm.
this was the match that started it off. But overall, I enjoyed the match. I'm gonna give it an 8.5 out of 10.
Ooh, I am right there with you. 8.5 out of 10. What a way to start off the show.
Yeah,
Truly.
yeah, and if for you say this is the worst booking decision ever, people out there, you are wrong. The worst
And
booking
weird.
decision. Yeah, you're weird. But the second match we had, this was a weird match, and
Yeah.
uh,
Weird in a good
well,
way though.
weird in a good. Yeah, there's some good things and bad things, but this is Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez versus the champions Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler for the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. What do you think about this?
You know what? I think a lot of people, all the prediction stuff I was watching, people were like, I feel like Raquel and Liv might split. Raquel and Liv might split. Nope. Raquel and Liv did not split. In fact, they won. And now they are the new women's tag teams champions.
But who did split?
But Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey split. And this was super unexpected. I don't think anyone could call this going into the match. Um, What's interesting though is that Shayna attacked Ronda because if in my head, if I was to do it, I'd go it the other way around because people already hate Ronda. She's not gonna get over as a face. We already know that. But interesting. I think this is gonna be huge for Shayna to finally be in a storyline, something for her to do, and I just hope they make it good. The match itself was okay. I think Raquel was doing her thing. When Raquel's in the ring with Ronda, it's actually always pretty decent. It's never been like terrible. So the match itself was okay.
Yeah, the match itself was okay. I mean, it was kind of unmemorable for me. There's not much to say about the match itself. There are a few decent, I guess, spots and bumps, but The main focus of this was the fact that Shayna Baszler mid-match just blindsided and attacked Ronda Rousey. For what reason? There's like no reason. There was no tension, no build-up,
I
but
guess
it
you'll find out
happened
on SmackDown.
on SmackDown. Oh, but
Oh.
on the Grayson Waller effect. That would be sick. But yeah, this can definitely lead to wonders for Shayna. I don't want to. Everything I'm going to say probably going to reiterate what you said. I agree that Ronda is not going to be a great baby face. Um, but what would be cool at SummerSlam? Shayna Baszler versus Ronda Rousey in a cage fight match. That a fight pit. That would be really cool.
I
Actually.
just want to see a submission match. I haven't seen a submission match in
Mm.
forever. When am I going to see a submission match? And almost all of the women's roster have submission movesets. Natalia, Becky Lynch, Sasha Banks, freaking Ronda, Shayna, like
Asuka
Asuka.
has one too. Yeah.
Yeah, everyone can do a submission move. So why are there no submission matches? Even Rhea has a submission move now.
I mean, yeah. Yeah, that's a valid point. That would be cool too. Ronda Shayna in a submission match, but you know what would be
Right?
better? Ronda Shayna in a Punjabi prison match.
I
That's what.
How could I forget about Ronda's Punjabi roots? My bad, WWE.
Um, but for me, well, we have, by the way, yes, new women's tag team champions. Woo! And I like Liv Morgan and Raquel's chemistry as a team. They're pretty nice. Um, and yeah, whatever. I give this match a 5.5 out of 10, but I will give an extra 0.5 for that unexpected betrayal and what it could lead up for Shayna and Ronda even. 6 out of 10.
Woo. Yeah, I'm gonna go 7 out of 10 because the match was pretty good, and the betrayal was freaking awesome. And new tag champs. Woo.
Oh, well, but third match, OMG. I'm gonna be honest with you, pretty disappointing. It's a Gunther versus Matt Riddle for the IC Championship. Now, they only had 7 minutes, and they could have made the best out of 7 minutes. I feel like they did, I guess. Um, there was some nice technical wrestling. It wasn't anything bad necessarily, but I guess for a Gunther match, my expectations were like this one's going to be a 20-minute, 18, 15-minute classic with Matt Riddle, some technical, some power moves, some high flying, but it's more of just, a technical fest, which isn't bad for 7 minutes. That match itself was a bit all right. And everyone, or at least me, I feel like some people were expecting Randy Orton to come back. A Randy Orton return would have been pretty cool, especially since the rumor mill is spilling out that Randy's ready to return very soon. But what do you think about the match?
I think they suffered from a card being too packed
Yeah,
because they needed to cut this match down, and they also cut down Seth and Finn because of that. And I think
yeah,
both matches were affected by that time shortage. Although I will say we have seen effective 5 to 10 minute matches before. But when you have Riddle, who's a credible contender, you can't really do a good match in 7 minutes, I think. So they did what they could with it. Nothing great. But what happens afterwards? Now that was amazing. Jake, tell him what happened.
well, a little psychopath happened. A Scottish psychopath. Drew McIntyre came back. What? Randy Orton didn't come back, but Drew did. That's fine. I love Drew McIntyre. And I think Drew McIntyre versus Gunther is going to be a banger. I do have one criticism about this return, though. I feel like this whole build-up for Gunther and Riddle, if this feud is going to end here, I feel like that big build-up that Gunther and Riddle had kind of feels weak from a 7-minute defeat. Um, again, this was a stacked card. You shouldn't. So I don't blame this too much, but I feel like this match could have been happening at SummerSlam, Riddle versus Gunther, and maybe Drew returns there. But at the same time, Drew's in the UK here, or and that's his kind of home country. So that's a nice little pop. And I didn't expect Drew to come back. Actually, I'm gonna be honest. That was another big return, and it's not the only big return that happens in this pay per view. We'll get to that later. But Drew McIntyre return is going to be cool. I have high hopes for their match that might happen at SummerSlam, maybe. Him versus Gunther for the IC title. But I wish they would continue this feud between Gunther and Matt Riddle, though. That's my biggest criticism. Overall, though, how would you rate it?
If I'm going to put together the match with the Drew McIntyre return, wrap it all up with a nice bow, I'm going to give it a 7. The match itself, I give a 6, but that Drew McIntyre return, a whole point, because I actually love the idea of Drew McIntyre as Intercontinental Champion. So, 7.
Yeah, the whole match itself, I was given a 6.5, but I gave it a 0.5 more, so 7 as well because of the Drew McIntyre return. Little mixed feelings about Drew, only because I'm a huge Matt Riddle fan, I must admit. But still, Drew versus Gunther is going to be a banger. But speaking of bangers, well, actually, this wasn't that bad of a match. Cody Rhodes versus Dominic. Oh my God, 2 second-generation superstars. How was this?
Pretty entertaining. I like Cody Rhodes. I like Dominic Mysterio. And I wasn't disappointed. And I wasn't, I didn't have super, super high expectations to begin with. But it did what it needed to do. London crowd going crazy for Cody. Whoa. And it was amazing. I love Dominic, man. Those freaking cow boots were amazing. Yeah, the match was decent, Rhea was rocking that nice haircut. I liked it. She looking dope. But man, I just thought when I was thinking about it, I was like, when is she gonna defend that belt? That's all I can think about when I see Rhea next to Dominic. Is like, when she's gonna defend that belt against someone not named Natalya. Which, by the way, this Monday night, Rhea versus Natalya. Why?
What if Natalya wins, dude?
I hope Natalya gets hit by a bus on the way to the stadium.
Oh my God, Natalya.
No, I'm just playing.
Oh, but yeah. Going to the Rhea Ripley point. Yeah, when is she gonna have a match that's defending that title that lasts more than 5 minutes? Because I feel like mostly her title reign's just like she's like the powerhouse Hobbs of champions.
Maybe someone should cash in on her.
Ooh, Damian Priest. Watch. Yo, that would be so sick, dude. The choke slam or South of Heaven to Rhea Ripley. Oh my God. Total betrayal. But Rhodes versus Mysterio, I thought it was a fair match. Again, not that much time given to it, but whatever. I think it was like an 8-9 minute match. It's fine. It was good for what it was. It actually wasn't too bad, but again, it's probably not a huge classic. But overall, it's not a bad pay-per-view match at all. And I think it gave Dominic a little bit of time to shine on the big screen. And for that reason, Cody Rhodes defeating Dominic Mysterio, it's going to be 7.5 out of 10 for me, actually.
It's going to be a 7 for me. I think that's like 3 7s in a row for me.
That's fine.
But yeah, it's just a 7. And when you were talking about the South of Heaven chokeslam, I was just thinking about like South of Heaven. Isn't that just like Earth? So it's just a normal chokeslam, like everyone else. It's just a chokeslam on Earth.
It's just an Earth. It's purgatory. Actually, so it's just like boring. It's like
get some theologians in the chat. We gotta get some theologians up in here. Where is South of Heaven?
Oh yeah, but yeah, that was it. That was Cody versus Dominic. I love what they're doing with Judgment Day real quick. I just want to say that I think everyone in Judgment Day, which I feel like at first was a stable that was like, oh, what are they going to do with this? Is it going to last long? It's probably one of my favorite things in wrestling today, all of Judgment Day. Even Rhea Ripley with her, I will say her title reign is a bit but just her as a presence is just so amazing. Not because I want to be with her. Please, I'm kidding. Buddy Matthews, don't hurt me. But yeah, 7.5 out of 10. But next we have guess who's back? It's the one
Randy Orton.
I wish, man. Honestly, I'd rather prefer Randy Orton. But this
was crazy though.
Yeah.
Who saw this coming? That's the third time this card no one saw something coming. Like, what the heck? Where did
Yeah,
John Cena
fourth
come from?
time. Yeah,
Can I just
honestly.
enjoy this moment with my friend? Like, come on, what's going on?
Yeah, John Cena came back. Very shocking. No one expected this. And who doesn't love a little John Cena? You know, John Cena can pull up to a pay per view, but not Austin Theory. That's okay. Um, but John Cena went over to freaking say, "Hey, London, we're gonna have a WrestleMania here." Ugh, man, I don't want to watch something at 2 p.m. again. You know, it just doesn't hit the same. I'm sorry, London, but whatever. And then, of course, our boy Grayson Waller was like, "Hey, mate, we shouldn't have no, we shouldn't have no WrestleMania in London. We should have in Australia. Yeah, mate. Crikey, Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. Oi, oi, oi." He actually said that. Actually, he actually did say Aussie. That was cool.
We heard it.
But yeah, what'd you think about this segment?
That's freaking John Cena and Grayson Waller. I loved it.
Honestly,
what's
yeah. This
what's not to love? I will say though, um, people are saying that they did this whole segment because the all-in buy numbers are so high, and that AEW is basically sparking the interest for WWE to do this. And genuinely, a corporate company that makes billions of dollars is probably going to have something planned out like this for months in advance. They probably put Money in the Bank in London so they can do a test, so they can at least test the waters for WrestleMania in London, right? So ain't no way that they're just like, oh, AEW's getting a lot of ticket sales.
oh,
We should do WrestleMania here. Like, no, no way. WrestleMania is their biggest show of the year. They're not going to just go off of a whim to put a show there based off another company's doing, especially when you're the top dog in the business. So I just want to like talk about that notion. But John Cena, I couldn't see him. It was amazing. Grayson Waller. Oh man, Grayson Waller's special, bro. All right.
dude,
He just had a
Grayson
segment
Waller.
with John Cena. He had Charlotte Flair on the show. He had Pretty Deadly on the show. He's having a lot of great, and this next ride he's having Edge on the Grayson Waller effect. This dude has the greatest
Bro.
talk show in WWE history at this point.
I'll be honest with you. Okay, so I think I texted you this because I forgot who he had this past Friday. I think he had the Money in the Bank. He had Logan Paul and the Money in the Bank contestants come out this past SmackDown before Money in the Bank, and I agreed with you when I was like, I know I can see where you're coming from. Grayson Waller's effect is probably one of my favorite shows ever in professional wrestling. Because okay, what makes him so good is like his reactions and like he kind of instigates stuff, but he doesn't. He's not like the Miz. It's just it feels different for some reason. Because when you had the highlight reel, when you had Miz TV, it felt like, oh, this dude, they're gonna have a match immediately after. They're gonna have a feud later. But Grayson Waller just feels like an actual host, and I don't know why that's so appealing to me.
I love the text that runs at the bottom. Like Grayson Waller would make a great like cook, or like Grayson Waller is the most handsome talk show host in history. Like it's so funny. I love that carried on from NXT to the main roster. That didn't change. So very nice.
I can't wait to see him in the ring, and I feel like he was the perfect person to go up and face John Cena. And you know what? Maybe Grayson has a good point. Maybe he should take it down to Australia, take WrestleMania down to Australia. You know, I mean, when was the last time we had an Australian pay per view? Super Showdown? That
Yeah,
fucking
Super
pay per view
Showdown.
sucked. So they need something good. They need a WrestleMania. Um, but yeah, you know what's funny? They're making Australia seem like the heel there. What if you're watching this from Australia? Oh man.
Iconic's never coming back, bro.
Ah, neither is Buddy Matthews after getting cucked by Buddy Ripley.
He kissed
But
Dominic's sister. It's okay.
oh yeah, it's fine. 8 out of 10 though. I really enjoyed the segment. This was really good.
9.5 out of 10.
Oh shit!
John Cena returning was insane. I popped for that. And Grayson Waller being involved with John Cena is just even better, in my opinion. So, puts a lot of eyes on Grayson Waller because people are going to go on YouTube and see John Cena return. They're going to click on it, right? And then suddenly you see this dude, Grayson Waller, like, oh, if you're the casual fan, who is this guy? Suddenly you're turned on to Grayson Waller. So, amazing. 9.5.
Yeah. My friend who I watched this with, who's not really a wrestling fan, um, he has a son come on the way. His name's Grayson, and he's like, I remember just like mid watching the show, he's like, "Who the hell's this fucking dude? Who just came out the crowd?" and then he's talking shit to John Cena, and he's like, "That's it. I'm not naming my son Grayson anymore. I'm naming him John Cena."
Waller.
John Cena Waller. Um, but
He
yeah.
should name his son Austin Theory. Just
Oh my god, he be popping bottles, bro. Dude, okay, so a little bit off topic, but I was freaking hanging out with my friend again. He doesn't watch much wrestling, but all he fucking puts on after watching those Austin Theory memes, because they're on his For You page, is that Poppin' Bottles song. That's all he puts on now. It's fucking terrible.
Tired by CJ So Cool.
Oh, you know the actual song title.
I do not know, bro.
Of course. But next we have the women's Money in the Bank ladder match with Bayley, Io Sky, Becky Lynch, Trish Stratus, Zoe Stark. I feel like I'm missing someone. Am I missing someone, bro? There's some. Is there?
Zelina Vega.
Zelina Vega. Well, how did I forget about her? She's like, yeah. But yeah, we think about this match.
Thought it was better than the men's match. I loved it.
Me too.
Yeah. This was great. This was freaking awesome. Start to finish, nonstop action. Every spot was pretty cool. And I love how it felt like a really good build in the match. To where Zoe Stark put in the one handcuff on Becky Lynch. You didn't know that was going to play into the finish at all. That was really great build. Like, it didn't feel planned out, even though it was. You know what I mean? It felt really smooth. It felt really good. A lot of great spots. Zelina Vega hitting the code red after the continuous beatdown with the chanclas. Onto the ladder. Io Sky is just incredible, bro. That somersault. I can't believe she went like to the very top rung too, and then hit that somersault. Crazy.
Yeah, I forgot who was. I think Butch tried to do a little moonsault, but he didn't hit the top rung. What a wussy, Butch. But yeah, the women's Money in the Bank ladder match, I agree, is way better than the men's. In my opinion, I actually thought this was, way more enjoyable because I feel like there are a lot of unique spots, and like you're saying, the handcuff portion was very authentic. It felt very cool. It had a lot to play. There's a lot of stories in the ladder match. Not saying there weren't any stories in the men's Money in the Bank ladder match, but they felt less prominent, in my opinion, within the match. The women's side, though, you had the Trish Stratus, Zoe Stark, Becky Lynch situation, and then you had the Io Sky Bayley, their little tension happening. And I think, when Bayley like kicked the ladder to get Io Sky out, oh my god, that was so good.
I thought Io cannot win now because after she got knocked down.
Yes,
but dang.
she came up, and I think it was Becky Lynch and Bayley, I think, and she handcuffed them together or something, and then won it on top of both Bayley and on top. I'm sorry, that sounded sexual, but on top of Bayley and Becky while lifting it up like a powerhouse. Like I love that. I think Io Sky was the perfect person to win this, honestly.
Something tells me that Triple H has been watching some Restless because he's giving the women some storylines.
Yeah, because we're the only one that criticizes that.
We're the only people who talk about it, right?
Yeah, we're the only ones that talk about wrestling, actually.
Exactly. We're the only wrestling podcast available.
But I really enjoyed this. I was really happy when I finally won a prediction, without Hottie winning 1-2. So, and I believe for me, Io Sky was very predictable. And I think on the betting odds, the odds were for her. But even then, I'm really happy she won. She needs to be a future women's champion. Is she gonna hold that Money in the Bank briefcase for a while? I don't know. Maybe she's gonna cash it in like a week from now. I don't know, 9 out of 10. I really like this match.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10 as well, and hopefully the fact that Io is in a storyline with Bailey at the moment can allow her to hold that briefcase for a longer time. She doesn't need to have the title at the moment. She can hold it throughout the whole feud and use it as a prop, almost similar to something Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose style. So this is gonna be really, really interesting.
Yeah. This was really cool. And then afterwards we had Seth freaking Rollins versus Finn Balor for the world title. Um, I think this was one of the matches that were cut down with Gunther and Riddle. I feel like this is one of the matches that shouldn't have been cut down. Um, I think Cody and Dominic maybe should have been cut down by a couple minutes. Plus, I feel like the women's tag team championship match maybe as well, or maybe not put Riddle and Gunther in this card. I don't
Yeah,
know,
maybe they shouldn't have had all these matches.
or maybe not make John Cena and Grayson Waller take up 15,
No, no,
10,
no, no,
15 minutes.
no. We
Okay,
needed
you're
that.
right. You're right. Okay, maybe you're right. But that being said, this was a pretty fun match though. Still, I think there was still good fast-paced action, um, and yeah, I really enjoyed it. And then out of nowhere, mid-match, Damian Priest shows up, runs in with the Money in the Bank contract. They need to change that color still. It looks so goofy with them. And I'm thinking, okay, I'm not gonna lie. I was doing errands while I was watching Money in the Bank, so I just had it on my phone while I was going around Target, and I was like, "Oh shit, bro! Holy schmolies! Damian Priest is gonna cash in." I almost screamed in Target. Um, that's not what happened though. What happened?
The boy just sat ringside. He pulled up a chair, made himself comfortable, and just continued to watch the match. While Seth and Finn was so close to winning though. Dude hit two coup de grace on the outside,
I thought he was gonna win.
pulled pulled Seth into the ring, climbed the ropes, but then we see Damian Priest get up, ready to cash in his money in the bank, and this catches Finn off guard. Almost a look of betrayal on his face, like, how could you? This is my moment. And this gives Seth enough time to counter, hit the curb stomp, and 1, 2, 3. Seth is
Oh,
still the world heavyweight champion.
that is so devastating. Um, but yeah, like a little bit of tension afterwards between Finn Balor and Damian Priest. Or yeah, Finn Balor and Damian Priest. Finn pushed Damian for a little bit, like, "Hey, what you doing? What are you doing?" Um, I really thought this could have been. I really thought this was gonna be a triple threat or something. I can't wait for the day that Damian cashes this in, becomes world heavyweight champion. I think the world heavyweight champion should be best for him. Um, I don't think he should cash in. He shouldn't cash in on the mid card titles. If he does, like, I don't know. Like, I'm sorry that I know it kind of brings prestige to the mid card titles, but at the same time, I feel like it's a waste of a cash in. you know,
It's not logical. Why would you want to be in the mid? Like, why would you not want to go for the top title in the company?
I mean, I get what Austin Theory was doing. I mean, that was Roman Reigns, but
Yeah, and he kept getting thwarted every time he tried cashing on Roman. He's like, all right, that's not
for
happening.
real, that's bullshit. I feel bad for the guy. Um, but Damian should definitely go for the world title. I don't think he should go for the undisputed title. I really still think that Cody should take it off him, or maybe even Jey Uso. But I don't know if the Usos beat Bloodline yet. Huh. We'll talk about that later. But anyways, how do you give this match, Rollins versus Balor?
It was good. Oh yeah, it was pretty good. 7.5.
I'm gonna give it an 8. I wish, because I feel like this could have been a banger if they were given maybe 5, 10 minutes more. But of course, you're running a show, time constraints. You have all these segments and important matches on the card that things are bound to happen. But 8, still good match for the time they had. And then we have the main event, the Bloodline Civil War. You have Jey Uso and Jimmy Uso, which I thought had almost no chance to win, versus the Bloodline Solo Sikoa and Roman Reigns. And let's take a break to say the London crowd and any foreign crowd is just, or Foreign from America is just so amazing, so incredible. They were singing Uso's theme song. They were coming up with
Yeah.
chants that you didn't know existed, like
I couldn't
"Stand up
understand.
if you hate Roman."
Like, I could not understand them for like the longest time. Though, what are they chanting?
I know, but sometimes you can understand them, or sometimes they're captioned because um, everyone was like, "Stand up if you hate Roman." Oh, 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 stand up.
I can't believe I could understand the backlash chants in Spanish more than I could the English chants in the
That's true.
UK. Yeah,
That's official. Hottie hates British people. But anyway, thumbs up.
verified.
How was this match though?
Freaking awesome. Freaking amazing. Usos were my pick to win, but the way they won is not how I expected them to win.
I'm not gonna
Holy
lie, I
crap.
was shocked.
I think this was the oh my god, bro. This Money in the Bank card, surprise after surprise after surprise, right? Like nothing was predictable about this card except maybe like EO winning. But everything else, like who could have saw this coming, man? Who could have saw Roman Reigns getting pinned in the middle of the ring or a little bit by the corner of the ring for the
Yeah.
first time since December of 2019. 3.5 years. 3.5 years Roman Reigns has not been pinned. And who pins him? Jey Uso, the first man to ever pin him. Almost in the exact same manner he was pinned 10 years ago by Jey. Woo.
I that moment when they were going to do a solo, Sokoa did I forgot what it's called, Samoan spike.
Spike.
Spike, yeah, Samoan spike. And while Roman was trying to do the spear simultaneously, I think doing it to Jimmy Uso or Jey Uso, either one of them, and then stacked both of them on top of each other to get Roman to pin them both, just like he did to Daniel Bryan and Edge at WrestleMania 30, I think it was 7. Um, 1, 2, a kick out. I shit you not, dude. I was in Target still getting me some cereal, and I was in the cereal
How long were
section
you in
freaking
Target?
out. I was in Target for a long time, man.
For real?
But oh my god, this was freaky, dude. I had to stop shopping for a bit and just look at my phone. I had to. It was so cool, and I think Roman hit a spear one more time. It was either a spear or Superman punch. I forgot. And then 1, 2, Jey Uso kicks out while also hitting his no spot, just like how Roman did to him 3 years before. Um, that was really good. Another big shocker. So many false finishes. My match of the night, honestly, this was an amazing main event. And whew, how this ended was pretty much super kick party. Move over Shawn Michaels. Move over Young Bucks. Move over other people who do super kicks, aka half the indie lineup. Move over. It's the Usos with their super kicks. And they super kick Solo out the ring. They keep super kicking Roman. And then a Uso splash from Jey Uso. 1, 2, 3. Jey Uso wins the day. My friend hates the Usos. He's like, because he showed me a TikTok where there's just like this dude just ranting about the Usos. They're like, the Usos are fucking losers. They fucking suck. They just steal Shawn Michaels' move, and then and they have no personality. I'm like, whoa, you're right about one
Oos.
thing.
Chill out.
Oops. I had a dream about Jey Uso, and we interviewed him. Maybe that's a vision into the future. Jey Uso, stay restless. Jimmy Uso too. I
Jay,
apologize on behalf of Hottie for calling you a drunk.
I said a lot of things about Jimmy. I know I called him fat. I called his beard scraggly. You know, well, I don't know if I called his beard scraggly, but I'm doing it right now. Jimmy, your beard is scraggly.
His beard
I
is
told him
scraggly.
he need control the drinking and the weight gain. But you can still come on the podcast, I guess. But Jay, my guy,
Hey, my boy.
my oos, day one
Honestly,
oos.
our boy Aaron, he mentioned that the ideal body man of a man is Sami Zayn's body, and I'm like, no, dude, it's Jey Uso's body. It's not too muscular. It's just perfectly lean. I want the Jey Uso body. Every time I look at Jey Uso's body, I'm jealous. Jey Uso, give me your body. Man, how how would you rate the Usos versus the Bloodline? This match was great.
I think this is the first time I'm ever gonna do it for a match. 10 out of 10.
I was thinking the same thing. 10 out of freaking 10. This was fantastic. Storytelling was amazing. Not many times I like to give a 10 out of 10, but I feel like
Yeah.
both the times that we gave 10 out of 10s was because of the Usos and Roman
Yeah.
Reigns.
I'm gonna need them to chill out with the super kicks though, man. Like for real though.
Mhm.
Like just if they can go one match without a super kick, I'll shave Uso in the back of my head.
Oh my god, we need like clip that and just like
You can
pin
clip
that.
that. You add in this. Yeah, clip it.
But yeah, I agree. I think the super kicks are kind of overused. Like it's cool to see it time to time, but sorry, like Jay Jimmy, some of the best, the in my opinion, top 5, maybe even top 3 best tag teams of all time. But you're no Shawn Michaels. You can't just keep using them super kicks all you want. Even when Shawn had the super kicks, he didn't just use super kicks. I feel like
I hate it, man. I hate it. I hate when the Young Bucks do it. I don't even like when Kevin Owens does it. I don't like when Dolph Ziggler does it. Everyone just needs to stop doing the super kick. That's not, see, control your narrative. I think they ban like super
yeah,
kicks, tope suicidas, and I'm like, all right. I was like, all right, I can get behind that.
but that's control your narrative. That fucking sucks.
They're really controlling the narrative though. Like you cannot do this. I'm
What has
controlling
EC3
your
been up
narrative.
to?
NWA power.
Oh, I haven't watched much NWA recently. But anyways, what do you think the aftermath of this pay per view is going to be looking like? What do you think SummerSlam is going to be looking like for
So
every?
yeah, so the idea of Jay versus Roman has been kind of coming up. I still don't think Jay is going to be the one to dethrone Roman though. But at the same time, I don't understand how you can have Roman go past SummerSlam with the titles when he's become so obviously decreasingly weaker and weaker, right? Like his family is crumbling. He's obviously not as he seems like he's out of control. I would love to see more paranoia out of Roman. More like I'm losing everything. I'll do anything to hold on to these titles. Maybe even sacrifice Paul Heyman. Like we'll see what happens. But I think Jey Uso genuinely, like when this guy does interviews and stuff like that, he genuinely loves being a tag team wrestler. I don't think he ever sees himself as a singles wrestler. And when they ask him like where you want to be next year at WrestleMania, he's like winning back the tag titles. It's not even no singles titles not even on his mind. I would love it
Yeah,
for him, but I don't see him winning a world championship.
like
That being said, how does Cody challenge Roman, right? He's on a different brand. He shouldn't win Royal Rumble 2 years in a row. He doesn't have the Money in the Bank contract. How does he do it? So if he's not the one, who on SmackDown finishes the story? Is it Karrion Cross? Is it Top Dollar? Like who is it?
yeah, I I agree. I don't know what's going to happen with Roman at SummerSlam. The past 2 months, Seth Rollins has had a better win-lose ratio than Roman Reigns. So take that, Roman. Seth is the better champion. Boom. But yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do past SummerSlam and if they want Cody to finish this story. Cause truth be told, I guess I wouldn't mind if Cody won the Royal Rumble twice in a row. I don't hate that idea. Maybe Seth can win the Royal Rumble, and I think that would be really cool to see a triple threat match. Seth, somehow Cody versus Roman Reigns for the undisputed Universal Championship. There's so much history just in between these three men. Because, I mean, they can do little shield spots. Cody hates Seth. Cody hates Roman. Roman hates Seth. Roman hates Cody. Seth hates Cody. Seth hates Roman. There's so much story that can be told in between these three guys, but how are they going to make it past SummerSlam? Is it going to be Jey Uso versus Roman, like you said, which would be cool, and I wouldn't mind Jey winning, but at the same time, what is he gonna do after he wins that
Yeah,
championship?
yeah. It's not a viable option. But I will
Um,
say that for Roman, like whoever beats Roman, I actually do trust the WWE will make the right decision because even before everyone's thinking like Cody has to do it, right? But before that, everyone's like Sammy's got to do it, and before that, they're like Drew, he can do it, right? And before that, and before that, and before that, every time they put a competitor against Roman Reigns, WWE makes you believe that they're the ones who can do it, that they're the one who can dethrone Roman.
I mean,
And I fully believe whoever they pick next, whether it's AJ Styles, like I said, Top Dollar, Rey Mysterio, even like anyone on Smack, Austin Theory, I don't care.
maybe
Yeah,
Randy Orton
maybe
could.
even Randy. Yeah, I will say though, like most of the top star talent, in my opinion, is on Raw. The guys who are more viable options: Seth Rollins, Cody Rhodes, Finn Balor, Bronson Reed. You know, all these guys. Shinsuke. SmackDown has a lot of top talent, but guys who've already lost to Roman, Bobby Lashley, AJ hasn't really challenged him yet, but I don't see him as a viable contender as at the moment. You know, Drew McIntyre's on Raw, Gunther's on Raw, so like I don't see who's on SmackDown's roster who's the one to dethrone Roman. Who knows?
I don't. Yeah, I don't see anyone on SmackDown that can throw Roman. What would be interesting though is if they did a callback with Edge again. I wouldn't hate that either, especially if maybe a retirement match for Edge, title versus career, and it maybe it's predictable, but I feel like it wouldn't be a terrible send off for Roman to retire
He never
Edge.
Edge never lost clean 1-on-one,
That's true.
so I would love to see him run it because that Money in the Bank when Edge and Roman ran it, legit, you
Ah,
felt like Edge was gonna win. It was amazing.
yes. This was before we knew what we had with Roman. Like Roman had a long reign. It was like, oh shit, it's a year. That's a long ass reign. But we didn't think it'd be a 3 year reign. So having Edge beat Roman was viable. And Edge almost beat him too. That was great. And then of course you have the other variable of the bloodline. You have Solo Sikoa, who can also maybe not dethrone Roman, but maybe fight for the title. Maybe somewhere down the line. Maybe not as early as SummerSlam, but maybe somewhere down like Survivor Series or I don't know, Royal Rumble or whatever's down the line from now. I feel like that would be pretty cool too to see Solo versus Roman. Um, but yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen with Roman. And I guess for Gunther and for the future of the Io Sky and Damian Priest, or the rest of the people, what do you think? You can start off with whoever.
Yeah, let's start off with Gunther and Drew. I would love to see Drew as Intercontinental Champion. I would love to see Drew beat Gunther because Drew McIntyre is a guy who I feel like can hold the title and do something really special with it. When he was WWE Champion, he carried this company on his back. He was the main guy, right? He was the guy until Roman came back. And I feel like Intercontinental Champion for him would not be a downgrade. I think him and Gunther would put on a like that's a match that could main event a pay per view, right?
Yeah,
Maybe not one of the big four pay per views, but a pay per view nonetheless. And him taking the title off Gunther, Gunther maybe doing world championship stuff. Who knows? Even Drew McIntyre and Seth Rollins could do a great program together. But I think there's a story with Drew McIntyre and Gunther, one that needs to be told. And personally, if Drew's the one to take the title off Gunther, that wouldn't upset me.
yeah, I would love
What
that
do you think?
too. I think that it's definitely possible that Drew can beat Gunther. Will he do it? That's going to be a tough one. I don't know if he will, but it's possible. I think that I was really dead set that Matt Riddle was going to win this. But hear me out. Here's a little fantasy booking, which sounds weird, but I feel like it could be interesting. Imagine Matt Riddle turns heel, um, and just like beats the shit out of Drew for kind of taking his opportunity from him, being like, "Stop! I want one more go at Gunther." And because he has shown his vicious side, he has shown his aggressive side. He's not just a comedy character. So I think Matt's capable of a heel. Definitely not as good as a face, but that's yet to be seen. Who knows? But that's a very interesting concept to me. If Matt Riddle were to turn heel, maybe go against Gunther and Drew McIntyre. But yeah, Gunther again, longest IC title reign besides I believe Honky Tonk Man and Randy Savage, I believe.
The Honky Tonk Man.
The Honky Donkey Man. I love that. Gunther Gunther versus Santino Marella would have been an amazing match for the IC title. But yeah, I think Gunther and Drew McIntyre going to be at SummerSlam. Drew could win because at the same time, I don't see what Gunther has in store left with people on Raw. Um, there's no one that comes to mind really. In my opinion, I feel like he can do a good program with Seth though, and that'll be really fun. So for the men's Money in the Bank ladder match, I think that Damian Priest. There's a lot that can happen. I feel like there's definitely going to be a Finn Balor, either a Damian Priest face turn, a Judgment Day face turn, or either Finn Balor's getting kicked out or Finn Balor is going to kick out Damian. Something along those lines. Maybe a Judgment Day Civil War. Who knows when that's going to happen though?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm interested to see how this affects the tension between Finn and Damian, how it affects Rhea and Dominic. Because it kind of feels like Rhea and Dominic at times are separate from the Judgment Day. That they're kind of doing their own thing. And I would love to see either more cohesiveness of the group together and kind of anti towards one guy, whether it be Damian or Finn. Or maybe just break the group up altogether and do it in a spectacular fashion. Maybe Dominic and Rhea can do their own thing outside of the Judgment Day. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I was going to say, I was thinking about it in my head for a bit, but thinking about it now, it's like, I don't know. Because I was thinking maybe Finn Balor gets kicked out of the group because Dominic and Rhea are on Damian's side because of how. I remember that one segment when Finn Balor was acting weird backstage and Judgment Day is like, what's wrong? You know, it's like Finn cares more about himself than the Judgment Day, which is how I feel, that's how I feel about him. But if they're going to turn Judgment Day face, though, how is Dominic going to, be cheered? Like, they haven't built up Dominic to the point where people want to cheer him. And will that turn Finn Balor face though? I don't know.
It's time for Finn to become face.
I don't know, man.
I think it is. I think he's ready, and I think him and Damian should not be the face. I think he's better as heel, but I would like to see his promos improve because they are heavily scripted and for a reason, right? If he can't nail the scripted promos, he's not gonna nail them freestyle. So he needs to get the promos down. Because he's not very good at them. They've never been amazing or good. And people have been saying, like, yeah, Damian really deserved it. He had an amazing year. But when I think about it, all he really did this year that was amazing was the Bad Bunny match. I can't really think of anything else. So I would like... I do think they made the right decision, though. Damian Priest, because he has a storyline. But if him and Finn are going to go toe-to-toe, I think him having the Judgment Day is going to be a lot more helpful to him. Because he kind of needs the support, the backup, whether it be on the mic, whether it be in the ring to win. Money in the Bank's always better if the holders is a heel, you know?
Yeah, I agree with that. Wait, it's weird to say that Damian Priest is 40 years old.
He's older than LA Knight. Yeah.
Oh, is he? I thought they were the same age.
He's 3 months older than LA Knight.
Oh my god! And they call LA Knight old.
And WWE Vince was like, "I'm not gonna push you because you're old," but
you can be Max Dupree though. And by the way, speaking of which, a little bit in the past, we canceled the weekly review, but I do want to mention how Logan Paul brought up Max Dupree to LA Knight, and I was like, damn, oh, you can't do that, Logan. That's so mean. But yeah, the future for LA Knight, though, I think he may go against Logan Paul at SummerSlam. Yeah.
I need the theory feud. Because I think it'll actually do a lot of good for Austin, too. I think him going against LA Knight.
Oh yeah, he's on SmackDown. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I think LA Knight and Austin Theory would be a great feud for both guys. First of all, puts LA Knight in the championship feud, which is gonna have a lot of eyes on it. And LA Knight is the hottest thing in WWE, one of the hottest things in WWE right now, outside of Roman, outside of Cody and Dominic. LA Knight has a lot of eyes on him, which is gonna make thus have Theory have a lot of eyes on him. And if LA Knight's in a few, people are gonna talk about it, and that's kind of what Theory needs right now. It could be literally the best thing on SmackDown if they wanted. So I think that is the move, and I think Theory and LA Knight could possibly face off. Are they doing a pay per view before SummerSlam as a
Nah, I don't
payback
think so.
or
No, I
not?
don't think so. Maybe I'm wrong.
I thought they were bringing back an older pay per view. I don't know. Must be wrong, but I would love to see them go at it.
I I think for Austin Theory versus LA Knight, I feel like for Austin Theory to win the U.S. title, maybe it's not that moment right now. Um, for him to go against Austin Theory and win at SummerSlam, I feel like he still has this feud with Logan Paul, which I feel like out of anyone in the men's Money in the Bank ladder match, besides maybe Shinsuke and Ricochet, but no one cared about that little feud they had. Logan Paul and LA Knight had the fiercest feud that kind of had a story behind it. Both megastars, the disrespect. LA Knight was talking about Logan Paul in interviews. It's one person he had in his mind. And I feel like LA Knight versus Logan Paul will get LA Knight up there even further going against a megastar like Logan Paul. And maybe LA Knight afterwards can go for the U.S. title when he goes against Logan Paul afterwards.
What about Logan Paul versus Austin Theory for the United States Championship?
Oh man, but it's I would love that actually, but who's gonna get cheered?
No, bro. We are not cheering. We are not booing. We are just clapping. That's all that's happening.
Oh, so just a Japan show, huh? It's just
Yeah.
why do they just act like they're watching golf?
Hey, man. Different cultures, different styles.
Yeah, I guess you're right, but the future for Io Sky, I see her. I don't see her being a strong Miss Money in the Bank. I don't see her cashing it in for so long, honestly. I see her cashing it in within the next month, um, which I don't hate, but um, she but should she just cash it in on Oscar like that? I don't know. I don't think
I,
so.
I think she should do her program with Bailey and maybe Dakota Kai and then cash in on Rhea on Raw and move to Raw. I
That would be
think,
good.
yeah, I think she should hold it for a while. But my only problem is we've never seen a really strong champion, world champion, that doesn't speak English, right? It's hard. It's really hard to go on for months with a world championship if you can't cut a promo yourself. She doesn't have a manager. Bailey was kind of that mouthpiece for her. I just hope that she is going to be over enough and she's going to be doing really cool matches and really cool segments and things like that where she is going to be a great champion. So I just wish the best.
Yeah, I think Asuka's able to do that kind of effectively. She's definitely a top star in the women's division. I mean, you could say what you want, but I don't hate Asuka as champion. She's been
She's never been a good champion on the main roster.
but I mean, still, you look at her NXT reign though.
Yeah, but I think that's so different though. NXT is always way smaller crowd, mostly indie fans. They basically cheer everyone because they're diehards down there. Like when you go to the main roster, if you can't appeal to the general mass, you can't be a superstar. You can't be the world champion, the top of the top. I think Asuka can't do that.
I feel like Asuka's still very capable, and I feel like booking is very capable in NXT if Triple H continues the booking because again, Asuka was a powerhouse as an NXT Women's Champion. I feel like still her reign currently, I will say, is all right. Um, and when we're going back to Io Sky cashing in on Rhea Ripley, I'm not sure about that. It'd be cool to think that, but at the same time, I feel like despite Rhea's kind of also lackluster women's reign, again, like I said, her presence, her as a superstar, it makes her hard to boo. She's still kind of over. And I feel like Io Sky cashing it in on her I don't know, but maybe if SummerSlam they figure out this Asuka Bianca Charlotte feud, and whoever wins that, Io can cash in on whoever the SmackDown Women's Champion is.
No, because let's say they carry out the whole feud with Bailey. It's gonna take a while, so it's gonna be a long time. Rhea's gonna be champion. She's already been champion for 90 days, right? And I think cashing on Rhea, moving her to Raw, will allow her to move away from Damage Control and do her own thing, and actually solidify her as a world champion. And I think she has an immense talent on Raw, like a bunch of talent on Raw to work with, that maybe SmackDown wouldn't provide her. Just an option though. I wouldn't even be mad if she cashed in on Asuka or Charlotte or Bianca, whoever the hell's gonna be champion.
Yeah. And then I feel
As
like
long as it's not Liv Morgan.
so disrespectful to Liv Morgan, man. Everyone loves Liv Morgan. That's all I'm saying.
That's not true.
I mean,
I sent you that thing on Twitter.
her cash in was great, man. We can disagree on that. It was a good cash in. Everyone enjoyed it. But I'll tell you what everyone else enjoys more. I guess is one person who we need to talk about. Talk about his future. Seth freaking Rollins in the World Championship. Who's going to dethrone him?
I don't know. It's as simple as that. Like, I think Damian will probably cash in on Seth in the future if Seth's still champion. But let's say it's someone else. You have guys like Gunther. Maybe he can run it back with Riddle. Maybe he has a match with Drew McIntyre in the future. Maybe Chad Gable gets a shot at the World Championship. Like, who knows? Raw is plentiful.
Yeah, I agree. Seth, great world title reign, by the way. It's only been like a month, and it's still a lot has been doing with that. A lot has been done with that title. Seth, probably the most over champion right now. Definitely one of the most over people in wrestling. Right behind there with LA Knight. And I think I don't know who's going to dethrone Seth either. I think Damian may have a shot. What's going to happen at SummerSlam? Will it be Seth versus Finn again? I don't know. Who knows? Maybe it'll be Seth versus Finn versus Damian. I don't know. Maybe Damian will be one of those cash-ins that's like, I'm going to cash this in 30 days before I participate in the match. Pull a Braun Strowman. Why would you do that? Just capitalize on your benefits, bro. You don't gotta.
For
Who
real,
cares
bro.
about sportsmanship?
You're not RVD. Chill out.
You're not RVD, bro. But yeah, I'm really excited to see what's gonna happen with Seth in the future. I don't know who's gonna go against in SummerSlam. And me personally, like I said, I wouldn't mind him being one of the guys to dethrone Roman Reigns. That wouldn't be bad either. It's got to be either him, Cody, or Jey Uso. But Jey Uso is one of those things where it's like it's good at first, but I don't know how it'll be after.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean that's pretty much what we got. That was a great thing.
We rated every single match from Money in the Bank, but we didn't rate Money in the Bank itself.
OMG, you're right. Oh, well,
And who's your
you.
superstar of Money in the Bank?
Superstar of Money in the Bank. Oh, now I gotta think about that one. Well, actually, I got you. I think my superstar of Money in the Bank, I would say Damian Priest, but I'm sorry, man. I gotta give it to Jey Uso. It's gotta go to Jey Uso for the third time. I don't know if this counts. I don't know if it's part of our weekly.
It has to. It has to.
But I rate the show though 8 out of 10. We the ones. 8 out of 10. This was really great. This was an amazing pay-per-view. People who say this Damian Priest winning is the worst booking decision ever. No.
Kill yourself.
No, okay, well, no, I'm not going to condone that. But
if you thought Damian Priest was the worst booking decision ever, kill yourself.
You know who else?
Kill yourself.
You know who could have won this? Logan Paul could have won this. Ricochet could have won
Ricochet
this.
could have won.
Like, I love Ricochet. He's actually like one of my favorite wrestlers in ring, but that's it. His character work sucks.
I think the worst decision ever would probably be Butch winning.
Actually, I wouldn't have minded that. Like in his hometown,
What?
hear me
What?
out. In his hometown, that would be sick.
All
Butch
right,
was
whatever.
sick.
Whatever.
Um, but yeah, who's your Money in the Bank superstar of the event and rating of this?
My superstar of Money in the Bank
Is
is Io
it
Sky.
Jey Uso?
No,
Oh,
it's
okay.
Io Sky. Yeah, Miss Money in the
Woo!
Bank.
First female
Whee!
superstar of the thing.
Yeah, she earned it. You deserve it. All right, and the show rating itself, I'm gonna give it a 9. Great freaking pay per view.
Oh man, Jey Uso, what a goat! He's just so good.
For real, dude keeps winning superstar of the week. At some point,
Um,
Jimmy's gonna start watching this and be like, I hate the show.
you know, yeah, maybe I wouldn't. Maybe Jimmy getting jealous over Jay over everything makes sense now. But this was this show. Do you have anything else to say?
No.
Well, this was fun. This was exciting. This was Money in the Bank 2023. Sorry for the other shows that we didn't review. We love you, AEW. Woo, AEW. And other shows. But yeah,
Should
that
we
was great.
include Thursday Impacts now?
Oh no,
Thursday Night Impact
I don't
is
have
coming.
time. Oh,
4 hour reviews.
and then we got to talk about New Japan, and then we got to talk about all the indies. But yeah, this was great, guys. I hope you guys had a great time watching / listening / whatever you're doing. Like, comment, subscribe. I don't follow us on Instagram, Spotify. Follow me on Instagram. Follow him on Instagram. I don't know where I'm pointing. And remember, my fellow restless sluts, stay restless.
Yeah.